Hey guys, Chrisman Lightning here, and today I'm actually going to give you my own personal reasons of these top 10 monsters that deserve to be in a Godzilla film. And just one off to the side because I know it might never happen because of America and Japan, yeah. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this in particular video on a Godzilla movie, because today in the mail I got the 1954 Godzilla or Gojira, if you really want to put it into the original term. So yeah, basically, number 10, since Godzilla 2019 is bringing in legendary monsters, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra, why not bring in the monster that almost killed Mothra before he actually joined up with Mothra to take down Godzilla? And that is Batra, Mothra's evil brother, if you consider her or him, whatever the gender was for that caterpillar. But basically, Batra is like Mothra in a lot of ways, except he does not produce any webbing. He technically produces beams of light, and he can, like, laser beams from his horn or his eyes, but that's only in his adult form, which, like Mothra, he could transform since he has two forms. But here's a kicker: he technically can do it in the egg. He can do it. He can do it with his mind. Like, his particles get disassembled and then put it back together, just like a flying caterpillar would, if you assume. Now, number 9, and this is like my honorable mention because technically when I watched Godzilla vs. Megalon, this character, even though he was a ripoff of Ultraman, was also very awesome in his own way. And that is, drumroll please, Jet Jaguar. And yes, if you're a Godzilla fan, you're watching this, I know what you're going to say, really, Jet Jaguar, but he was like from the Godzilla movie that was not good. Really, guys? If you have not watched the 1998 Godzilla movie produced by America, yeah, we suck, then you technically do not know what good movies are. Godzilla vs. Megalon was actually one of my utmost favorites of the Heisei Godzilla eras. And not only because they actually got Megalon in and I got to see his origin, and they also put in Gigan. They actually put in a robot that could transform into a giant monster and then destroy people. Almost like Transformers, except he does it with something inside him that makes him grow. And he basically joins Godzilla, and then they both duke it out with Megalon and Gigan, which is an awesome movie. If you have not seen Godzilla vs. Megalon, please go watch it. You will not be disappointed unless you're those people who really consider the cartoon version of the 1998 Godzilla and 1998 Godzilla to be a actual good film. Or, we suck at this. And that's why in Godzilla Final Wars, Zilla was killed. And we're not bringing him back ever. Please don't bring that monstrosity back. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Number 8. And this, personally, is one of my favorites. And that is the monster that killed Godzilla's adopted son, Destroyer. Or Destroyer, whichever you want to call him by. Now, here's a reason. Because A, Destroyer was actually created from the oxygen destroyer that they used to kill off Godzilla of freaking 1954, and then they later turned him into Kiryu. But, yeah, Destroyer, he was actually an opposable foe for Godzilla, even when he was in his meltdown mode. Yes, there's a mode where Godzilla's body temperature rises up, and he kind of triggers himself to go into a meltdown stage. But yeah, this Destroyer killed off Godzilla's son, as well as almost killing the King of Monsters himself. And, of course, he has, like, little forms which can combine into a flying form, and then later on, boom, the most obstruct monster was ever created. Destroyer. Which was also in the movie Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Go figure. Now, here is one monster, technically one of two monsters that I would love to see, because technically it's a Godzilla. I'll give you that hint. And that's either Biollante, the plant version of Godzilla, or Space Godzilla. And you can guess where Space Godzilla came from. Now, of course, Space Godzilla technically came from Biollante when some of the G cells went into space. Even though Mothra, yeah, some of the origin stories for these monsters are too complicated for me to explain to you guys. And I'm not dissing on any people who have not watched Godzilla movies. I'm just saying it might make sense to me, but it might not make sense to any other people. Space Godzilla actually was one that trapped Godzilla's son in a crystallized jail, and basically it almost killed its original counterpart, Godzilla. Now, but Mogira was in that movie, but yet he was not a good robot, but that kind of defeats the point. Space Godzilla is a force to be reckoned with, and he's like one of the most awesome Godzilla versions ever. I mean, he has telekinesis, he has diamond spikes on his shoulders, he can literally summon a diamond shield to protect himself. Yeah. Now, hold on a moment. Number 6. And this is one of my other favorite monsters, and that is... I'll give you 3 guesses. All your guesses was wrong, because probably the people who are watching this have not watched a single Godzilla movie, and that is Mecha Godzilla. Yes, and I actually want the people who make the Godzilla movies to give him his original perspective of how it was done. Basically, aliens from the third planet that survived in the black hole has created Godzilla, a mechanized version of Godzilla that actually looks like Godzilla when you first meet him. But then he sheds his skin to reveal that he's solid metal underneath. Of course, the metal he's made out of is not durable, but you can fix that. Which is space titanium, if you haven't figured. But Mechagodzilla is actually a force to be reckoned with, even when he's built again. Now, there's been 3 versions of Mechagodzillas, and I would love to see them all in a Godzilla movie. Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Super Mechagodzilla, and Kiryu, which is the cybernetic version of Space Godzilla. Not Space Godzilla, of Godzilla 1954. Now, number 5. Let's see. Who is the monster that actually helped Godzilla defeat Mechagodzilla? And that is King Caesar. Yes, a giant dog thing that can shoot lasers out of his eyes. Well, can technically deflects lasers from his eyes, from Mechagodzilla's eyes. It's basically a guardian of this one religion, and it actually came to life and helped Godzilla to defeat Mechagodzilla. And also watch the Showa era version of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And now, to my number 4. And that is, of course, not Biollante, sorry. Sorry, I just do not like Biollante. And that is actually... This is the one that I say I will love to see, but yet it will never happen. That is Gamera. Yes, the flying giant turtle, guardian of Earth and all the children of the universe. Yeah, the giant turtle is technically a ninja turtle that can do a lot of stuff. Also breathes fire, and also can turn into a giant flying shell. But still, Godzilla and Gamera have never duked it off on screen. And plus, Godzilla will kick King Kong's monkey butt. I'm pretty sure of it. Because this is going to be round 2, and you better watch your stuff, Kong. Godzilla's coming after you. And this is basically has been the greatest rivalry in all movie monster history, which is technically Gamera versus Godzilla. Now, Death Battle has done this, but they were all wrong about it. Godzilla will win. Yeah, if you can't figure out by now, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so yeah. Now, to my number 3. And that is, of course, a cybernetic organism that fights dirty, and yet the aliens still love him for it, and that's why they brought him back for Final Wars of Godzilla. And that is freaking Gigan. Yes, Gigan is a cybernetic organism that actually has 2 claws as hands and a freaking Cyclops eye laser. So he has taken Godzilla on multiple times, almost killed him once. And now to my number 2. And that is actually a Godzilla over in Japan. Yeah, since like Godzilla of America and Japan have duked it out, but technically we have not seen them teamed up. Now, our Godzilla, which is the new one, have come up to its top peak. It's basically the same Godzilla from 1954, but in our version. Now, just to see him team up with Godzilla, that's not Shin Godzilla, it from a different, like Godzilla 2000. That would be the most awesome thing. Well, technically, no, scratch that. I actually want Orga to come back. Bring Orga back. Please, I beg you. If you do not know what Orga is, he was flying UFO that kind of absorbed Godzilla's cells and it technically transformed into a monster. That almost turned into a clone of Godzilla. But still, that movie was so awesome. Now, to my number 1. The greatest of all rivals of Godzilla. The one that has allied himself with the king of the monsters ever since. Sometime. And also, when Anguirus has a cameo. He is Anguirus. Yes. Anguirus, the giant armadillo with spikes on his back that can be used as a baseball. Or, yeah, because technically Anguirus can roll himself up, and then in the Final Wars, King Caesar kicks him, and then Godzilla kind of acts as a goalie, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, watch some of the Godzilla movies. So yeah, and this is my honorable mention, which I will practically. I do not want this to happen. Do not bring Zilla back, okay? If you do not know what Zilla is, he was basically a 1998 version of Godzilla, which was a giant T-Rex that spewed out green fire, and that was not okay. That is not Godzilla. That's a monstrosity. So yeah, that's my rumble. And here is my honorable mention for my list of monsters I don't actually want to be in, like, a Godzilla movie. Which is a lot, actually. I have a long list. But this kind of like tops it all with a cherry on top of your monster smoothie or ice cream or whatever you want. And that is, of course, the only monster that could stand toe-to-toe against Godzilla. And yet, slap King Kong straight in the face. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Who, of course, could do all this? Who, of course, can practically give us our fondest wishes to actually see Godzilla fight off one of his most legendary rivals in known history? Well, I'll tell you. Bring back Mecha King Ghidorah. Yeah, just have the central head of King Ghidorah cut off and then have his wings tattered, and then bam, bring in Mecha King Ghidorah. And this basically springs off into multiple Luzos of Super Mega Godzilla and Kiryu. But yes, bring in Mecha King Ghidorah. Either that or Megalon. Megalon was awesome. And this has basically been my top 10. Well, technically, I'm going to rename this. My top 13. Well, top 12 monster. Top 11 monsters that I want to see in new Godzilla films. This is Chris Milani, wishing for the lining to protect you guys. I'll see you around.